Hi fashion designer, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how to draft this bra pattern, which actually have a power bra. A power bra is something that will actually give you a lift and support on your breast. So if you want to know how to draft this pattern, stay tuned, and please don't forget to give this tutorial a good thumbs up. So we're going to need your under bust measurement followed by your bust round circumference. Now you're going to take your bust round circumference and divide it into 4 and mark a square of your quarter of your bust round circumference. Then once you're done, you're going to divide that square into 4 equal parts. Now once we're done, on the bottom square, I'm going to divide it into half like so that you don't have to be confused. I'm going to mark my lines as A, B, this one's going to be C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. So on a point G and H, I've marked a center point, and then I'm going to blend that center point to point I. And I'm going to do the same thing also on D and E to create the lower cup. So the next thing we need to do is to create the upper cup. Now from H, I'm going to go up by 2 cm, and then from D, I'm going to mark 3 cm. And then I'm going to connect that 2 cm point from H to I. And then I'm also going to do the same thing from the 3 cm from D to I. Then from D, I am going to go up by 4 cm, and then I'm going to go in again by 2 cm. Now over here we want to create an armhole, so I'm going to use my curved ruler to create that armhole. From this point, we want to go up over here by 2 cm and then go in by 1.5 cm. And then you're just connecting it with a diagonal line over here. And this part on top is going to form the neckline, so you just want to mark it with a straight line. And then our upper cup is complete. Now right there on top, I'm going to mark 1.5 cm. Right, I'm just going to create a marking of 1.5 cm and then cut out my pattern. So before I do cut out my pattern, I just want to blend in the line to remove any sharp edges for the bottom cup. Now moving along on a new pattern paper, I'm going to place my upper cup, and I'm just going to highlight that 1.5 cm that I pointed, and from that point I'm going to mark up 3.5 cm and mark it with a width of 1.5, and then just blend this point on the armhole of the upper cup. So basically I'm just creating that hook on the upper cup. And then I'm going to join the lower cup together with the upper cup just to create a power bar. So you decide where you want your power bar to start. It could be from the inner cup, or midway from the inner cup, or right on the center of the side cup. So mine is going to be on the side cup as shown here on the screen. And then I'm going to take a new pattern paper, and I'm going to place it under this pattern and take my tracing wheel and just going to trace out the power bar. So once I'm done, I'm just going to highlight it with my blue marker, and this is going to be the power bar pattern. So this is the power bar pattern. So what you want to do is to go ahead now and add seam allowance. So once you're done adding seam allowance, we can go ahead and draft our frame pattern. So for the frame, I'm going to mark a rectangle of quarter of my bust round circumference, which is 20 3 cm, and then the length is going to be half of my bust radius, which is going to be 11.5 cm. I went ahead and I divided this rectangle into half, and once I'm done, I'm just going to label it like I did for the cups. Now on point C, I am going to go in by 2 cm and then mark down by 2.5 cm. I'm going to connect these 2 points together. And now on point D, I am going to mark a 2 cm and then connect these 2 points together as shown on the screen. Now on point B and E, I did mark down 9 cm going down from B, and I'm going to join it with my curved ruler. So this line here, you must actually measure your lower cup right from the first half and see if it does actually fit properly on the inside frame. Now for the other side, I am going to mark 1.5 cm on point A and then go in and mark 1 cm, and this is to create that bridge on the frame. Then I'm just going to connect it to point E with a curved ruler. And the same thing, you need to make sure that the lower cup, the second half of the lower cup, including the neckline of the upper cup, you need to measure those two and make sure that they actually fit on the inside of the frame as shown like this. So it actually does fit. Now the next thing is on point F, I'm going to go up by 1 cm and I'm going to join in or blend this together to point E. And then now, because if you feel like your bridge is too wide, you just move in by 0.5 from this point over here. And then you want to blend this to point F. And then this will help the bridge to sit closely to your sternum. This is what I did. I moved in by 0.5 cm. Okay. So once you are done, and please make sure that this part is still going to be cut on fold. So now what you're going to do is from that new point over here, I'm going to mark 1 cm. Okay. I'm going to mark 1 cm going in. And then as you can see from this point, I marked 1 cm going in, and then I'm going to reconnect this point to the in curve. This will help that if you want to place or you want to insert a wire onto your bra, it will sit closer to your sternum. So making these changes on the frame will really help a lot. So I'm just going to highlight my changes with the orange marker for you guys to see the difference or the changes I've made on the frame. So now the next thing we need to do is to draft. So as for the band size, you need to take your under bust measurement and divide that into 4. And then mine is going to be 18 cm. So once you're done, you need to take your frame or your cradle and measure the side where actually the band and the cradle join. You need to measure that, and mine is actually 9.5 cm. And that is going to be the width of your band. So taking my cradle, this is how it's going to look when we attach the two. So for the width, right, or of the hook and eye, it depends on the length of your hook and eye. I like to use the channel hook and eye because then I can decide how long I want it to be. So mine is going to be 5 cm. So because the band is going to be cut on a stretch fabric, right, I'm going to remove 1 cm, which is going to be later replaced by the hook and eye. If you attempt to place the hook and eye without removing this 1 cm, your band will be very big or your bra won't sit comfortable. So adding seam allowance, I'm using a fold over elastic over here. This places that I'm showing you here if you're going to add a fold over elastic, don't add seam allowance at all. But if you're going to be using a picoed elastic, please do add seam allowance of 0.5 seam right on these places that I'm showing you. This includes the cups. For the cups, on the upper cup most especially, if you're using a fold over elastic on the neckline, there's no need for you to add seam allowance. But if you are using a picoed elastic, make sure you use or add seam allowance. This includes the power bar right on the side. No need to add seam allowance if you're using a fold over, but for the picoed elastic, add 0.5 seam allowance. Now back to the cradle, I am going to add 1 cm, and following that blue line, I am going to add 1 cm. This is going to be for the elastic, under bust elastic that I will be using. So the width of the under bust that I'll be using is almost 1 cm. And also please add the 1 cm on your band, and then when you're done, cut out your pattern. So these are all the pattern pieces that you're going to need. Stay tuned for part 2, where I'm going to show you how to sew this pattern together. As for me, see you on the next one.